Yo, how's it going, guys? It's the one, and we are back with Etheria Restart. Today we're going to discuss the ongoing drama within the community. Many players are in an uproar regarding the latest patch. What was within the patch, you may ask? Well, within that patch, they actually buffed the THEONE and the Aurora bosses. And this buff basically made it to where that the dot team that was viable in these modes are no longer viable. So people are pissed off that units they built up aren't good, and units they built up gear for are no longer viable. So yeah, we're gonna talk about it and go and see what the community's saying. Let's get it. All right, so I have the official Discord pulled up, and you guys can see for yourselves. I'm not making this up. Players are in an uproar. They are not happy whatsoever. So let's go and read through this, so you guys have a better understanding of the picture. So it says here, "Hi team, I want to share some quick but important feedback regarding the silent shadow buff applied to Aurora and THEONE just 4 days after launch." So this, the buff that they applied to where that the dot team's no longer effective against Aurora or THEONE. This wasn't here for the first like 3 to 4 days. This only happened earlier today. So it's not like this was a thing only during the beta, and it wasn't a thing when the game officially came out. So it was a thing for the official game for the first three and a half days until they decided to, you know, buff the bosses and basically nerf the dot team. So if I go into the announcement page for the game real quick, so this is basically this is basically the hotfix, that was posted. I believe this is the one. This hotfix, they didn't actually tell us what was actually within this hotfix. And so people actually figured it out for themselves, that this hotfix basically was a buff to the THEONE and the Aurora bosses. And like I said, the dot team got nerfed. It says here why this is problematic. It says that the team's suddenly obsolete. Many players invested in specific units to clear these bosses based on their original stats. With a silent buff, those teams are no longer viable, leaving early adopters feeling punished. And it says breaks players' trust. Changing boss difficulty without notice makes it hard for players to plan or feel confident investing in units or strategies. So basically, this is basically like they're moving the goalposts. So something that was clearable, they silent buffed it, and made it increasingly more difficult for players. So it's like, who can we build and who can we not build, in case the units get nerfed, or the bosses that the units were good for just, you know, get a silent buff. You know, and I'll be real, this guys, I just want to just make this clear. I have no dog in this fight. Because even though I own the full dot team, I don't have any of them built up whatsoever, because I understood that the dot team is a super high investment team. Hence why these people are pissed off, rightly so. They have every right to be pissed off, because the dot team is a really expensive team to build. Regarding the resources, you have to get the gears right, you have to get all your units built up in a certain way. So it's not an easy team to build, right? And then you have to form the team to begin with. So it's like, it's not an easy team to build, right? And Shadow Sanya is a light dark unit, guys. Some of you guys may not realize, but Shadow Sanya is a light dark unit. A super premium unit in the game, and she's gotten nerfed again, right? So it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. But like I said, I have no dog in this fight. I'm only covering this, because you guys know on this channel I keep it real 100%. That's my thing, keeping shit real. Even though I'm loving the game, I think the game is going towards the right direction. And I've praised them for when they've done shit right. I'm obviously gonna call them out when they do things wrong. I'm just gonna be fully transparent with you guys. You know, that's just what I do. So I'm just doing this to shed some light on it, so you guys are aware. And to obviously tell the devs that this isn't a good look. And they should have been more transparent and made it vocal that during that patch that this is what was going on, that they were gonna buff the bosses. If you're gonna do it, just say it, man, rather than people having to find out through testing, right? But I'll continue on. It says here, it kills motivation during the crucial early days. Seeing your progress invalidated can be extremely discouraging. I agree. I had a bit of a rough patch myself, but I, taking my own advice through the guys I've been giving you guys here on this the channel, I was able to steer my account back onto the right path. But yeah, the early days are going to be super important. Your first initial week or two playing the game is basically going to set up your account. Whether it's going to be a successful account or whether you're going to break the account, it all depends on your initial 1 to 2 weeks playing, right? So being like this is going to be a massive blow, especially if you already used your refreshes, and plus your refreshes also use your hydro crystals. So if they did this, they should have increased the compensation to make up the amount for the refreshes people would have had to make on all the dot characters that they had built up to like 6-star or 5-star, right? And all the prowess materials. Let's not even talk about the gear they probably built up for these specific units, right? So it's a lot of progress gone down the drain, man. And like, and bear in mind, this is like 4 days after launch, so this is 4 days of progress building up this team just completely gone down the drain. So yeah, let's continue on. Says suggestions: communicate transparently before making major balance adjustments. And like I said, I 1,000,000% agree. My only issue with this, I guess you could say, shadow buff for the Termaton and the Aurora dungeons is basically just let people know what's going on, man. Don't just patch it, and especially something of this magnitude. Like if it was like a text error or whatever, like who gives a shit, right? Who gives a shit? But if it's something to this magnitude as nerfing an entire archetype for the game and making an entire like archetype of units like no longer viable for 2 out of 3 bosses, then it's like, why aren't you telling people? You know what I'm saying? You guys have had good communication up to this point, regarding the whole nerf situation and all the compensation we got from that and the changes they made off of that. So I don't see why not do that now, right? So yeah, and then it says consider compensation for affected players who invested in now underperforming units. I 1,000,000% agree. It's because, guys, some of you guys who might give me shit for this may not realize that it's really expensive to build up units, man. Like, you have to think really hard before you just take up a unit to 5-star or 6-star, right? Especially 6-star. But you're gonna have to think hard who you're gonna invest your prowess, who you're gonna start investing prowess into, who you're gonna invest shells into, because don't forget, you also have to grind shells for these units as well. So like, and this is tons and tons of stamina going down the drain, right? This is lots and lots of refreshes going down the drain. So it's so much resource goes into it. So it's actually more than the initial hydro crystals that I was saying earlier. So you're gonna have to invest into the shells, into the gear. The gear is a big one, man, because if you get shit stats in your rolls and you have to recycle that shit, start going again. So it'll have to be a lot of compensation made up for all the people who built up these units, man, because having obsolete units just sitting in your box where you know for a fact they're not viable in PvP, right? They're not viable in PvP. Dot is not really viable in PvP whatsoever. Like I told you guys, it's a speed and cleave meta right now. Dot is no longer good in Termaton or Aurora, right? Dot isn't really good in Guild Boss either, to my knowledge currently. Dot isn't good in Guild Boss. So it's like, where will you use Dot? That's the real question. Where can you actually use this team, since it's now no longer viable to run whatsoever? And I really don't understand why they killed this entire Dot playstyle. I was actually really happy they had something like this in the game, because it offers a lot of variety in different playstyles. But if you're killing an entire playstyle, then it's just gonna force everyone who was trying to be original and play the Dot team to now follow everyone else and just do speed and cleave, turn meter manipulation, speed up, come in with big AoE damage, because that's basically what PvP is filled with right now. So it's just not a good look, and I really hope that they address this and gives it the attention it needs and appropriately compensate everyone. But let's just go in and read the rest of these comments. It says here, yeah, people are agreeing. You guys can see the thumbs up. Totally agree, especially the recent update where the dot team cannot be used in Aurora. What about people who already invested their time and resources to build a team to clear the stage? Like, don't get it wrong, guys. Don't get it twisted. Like I said, the team requires a lot of investment to take up. Forget that team specifically, but any team, if you're going to build up a whole team, it requires a lot of resources, a lot of stamina, and a lot of investment, right? For 4 days, people have built up this team, building it up to a usable point to where they can clear hell difficulty. And now it's like the team's shit. So, hey, we need compensation at least. If you're going to nerf the units, or not nerf the units, but buff the bosses and make the team no longer viable, either give out like a couple of free character resets to everyone, or, you know, give out a ton of stamina. Give out like 40 or I think if they gave out like 40 stamina refills, that would make up for it. 40 stamina refills would make up for it, because you can then refarm all the resources that you then invested into those units. So I think that's a better thing than just being able to reset the units. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a good idea. Since here, I second this. Dot is already bad enough investment, as there's no way you can use them in PvP. Like I said, meaning those that put in resources intentionally build this team to clear the module bosses. A sudden shift a week in is not it. At least give the option to reconfigure to those who build dot units. It's ridiculous how Shadow Sanya has been a staple team for Aurora and Termaton for people that pulled her since beta and launch of the game. Like I said, this isn't a situation to where, oh, it was in the beta and it was never within the full game. The dot team was viable within the beta, but most importantly within the launch for the first 3.5 days. But this shadow nerf was done to Aurora, killing the strategy completely without any announcements or compensation, and this is really bad, man. No announcement was made. Like I said, they just said it's a hot fix, and no mention of this was made. So it's not a good look. She's literally only usable in a PvE perspective for shells and the 2 module dungeons compared to other LDs that function mostly anywhere, and that's a huge thing. Shadow Sanya is really bad, man. Really bad. I was talking to a friend of mine and we were like, oh, Shadow Sanya might need like a future 5-star support, not 5-star, but future SSR support, where the dot team gets a facelift, because the dot team really needs a facelift, man, to make it more viable and more viable in different game modes. Because right now it's like it's really boxed into more it was boxed into more a module dungeon thing, but now it's not even that. So it's like no one's gonna play dot whatsoever in any aspect of the game due to this. So yeah, I just totally agree with the others on this. I am honestly confused by this move from them. They do not shadow nerf Mocha or the Ting, who trivialize content and can be gotten easily, but Shadow Sanya, a niche premium light dark unit, why lol, isn't keeping her good make more people will for her? That's a really good point. The Ting is busted. The Ting is really strong. He's really strong for Termaton. He's really strong in Aurora, Guild Boss, PvP. Like, the Thing is really strong. But Ramocha, I don't think Ramocha is like that crazy busted. She's only specific to Doki Doki. She's Doki Doki specific. Outside of Doki Doki, she does I, but she doesn't do anything crazy, right? But yeah, I don't know why they would nerf Shadow Sanya and make her even less viable to run. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it just sucks. Let's read. So it says, Absolute Cinema. I was planning to invest on Shadow Sanya, but her Aurora tier from 0.5 to tier 5. Not sure what happened. Boss can't be dotted anymore. They are pretty bad in communication. First the dupe drama, then this nonsense shadow buff. Events and banner are running out, and we don't know nothing about the new ones. They're announcing Ethernet Rally as event, but that was in the game in the launch, and it's one of the core game mode. XD have to improve a ton to be okay-ish in the communication matters. That's really bad. I wonder if Dot got time to shine in future update. That's what I'm saying, man. The Dot team needs a massive facelift to be viable, man. Time will tell. Reset Lian and done building Sanya 4 hours ago, and they nerfed Dot without any announcement. That's fucking crazy. shouldn't cheese no modes. To be honest, you can beat them constantly with normal teams. It's okay. It's okay cheese with overtuned effects. I don't know. Okay, let's continue looking. Bro, imagine getting a shit LD that's only viable for PvE and then even nerf her there and people actually build her. Can't be me. It's totally me. I mean, I built her on my free-to-play account, so I'm fucked. Like, that's kind of crazy. I have to reset her on my free-to-play account now. Meanwhile, the thing alone is doing what an Apex SSR with a dedicated team can. Yeah, the thing is busted. Yeah. But basically, everyone is agreeing. That they should compensate people. With like I said, my idea would be 40 mental stabilizers, basically stamina refills to make up for the 4 days of investment that was wasted building up these units, or just give. Actually, nah. I think that's the best idea, because I was also gonna say, or maybe just give 4 character resets, but that would actually be less, because you have to take into consideration the gear that was built up, the Etheria coins, the shells that were built up. Like, so much more was gone into just, building these units up than just character resets. So yeah, because we also need to get the resources to build up that we used to build up the modules as well. So yeah, I think I've waffled enough. Yeah, I think I've waffled long enough. That's basically what everyone is saying. Everyone's in agreement that we need some compensation, and the devs need to improve their communication, especially if they do a shadow buff or nerf or whatever you want to call it to this magnitude. A change of this magnitude requires an announcement. Okay guys, we had to buff the dungeons because the dot team wasn't supposed to do this, and it went under our nose that you could actually use this team comp in Aurora and Terra Meton, so we had to make adjustments. That's what they should have said. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and what kind of compensation do you propose that the devs give you going forwards regarding the situation. So yeah, like, subscribe, take care, and peace.